Hi, good day. My name is Decadit Salva, and we are the Group 10, and today we are going to report about religions. The group members are Gilbert Salva, Manuel Serrano, and Nino Christopherson. So, what is religion? According to Edward B. Taylor, the term religion is derived from the Latin word ligare, which means the bond between God and man. He also defines the religion as the belief system and practices directly toward the spiritual beings such as souls, ghosts, demons, and God. For Emile Durkheim, he refers religion as a unified system of belief and practices relative to sacred things. So there are three elements of religion. The first element is the religious belief, which are specific religious thought and idea that people hold to be true. Next is religious social organization, which religious activities require the cooperation from its member. And lastly, religious ritual. It is central to the practice of religion it is the performance of religious rituals. So there are two kinds of religious rituals. The first is calendrical ritual. It refers to the regular performed religious practices at fixed date. And second is a critical ritual, refers to the petition and request for supernatural assistance to overcome a present problem, and ritual of preparation is performed in this occasion. So there are there are four forms of religious ritual. The first one is rite of passage. So what is rite of passage? This is the transition of an individual from one social status to another. Next is rituals of propitiation. So these are intended to appease the supernatural that are usually performed in times of crisis and or great needs. Next is prayer. It is a ritual performed by people to petition supernatural beings but without the assurance of result. And last is sacrifice. It is an act to make a prayer more commendable and worthy to be heard and answered by supernatural beings. So, religious practitioners. So, one of these religious practitioners are priests. So, priest, what is a priest? Is a Boyer and Bergstrom describe priests as exclusive providers of particular religious service, but they do not control divine power. Rather, they lead people in ceremonies and help them petition to the gods. Next is shamans. Shamans are powerful, charismatic, and religious figures that believe to have been chosen by the spirits to function as intermediaries between supernatural beings and human beings. So the function of religion. The first function of religion is magic. So magic, is an act to produce desired result using strange powers in a supernatural way. Fisk said that there is a kind of magic called white magic, and the other one is called black magic. Next is mime magic. It is the belief that imitating an action is a religious ritual that will cause the action to happen in the material world. And last is contagious magic. You can use a present media in a form of combination of image, video, graphics, tables, and others. So, major world religions. So, one of the major world religion is Hinduism. So, what is Hinduism? Hinduism has its roots in the two basic religious systems: the religious belief of the ancient civilization of Harappa, and the religious beliefs of the Aryan, meaning word for noble. So Hindus have many gods like Vishnu, Shiva, Devi, and Brahma. and it is a and it is a supreme reality to the ultimate cause of this universe. So this is Vishnu and this is Shiva. This is Dive and Brahma.
Hello, I am Decadet Serrano. To continue, we have Ant-Man. Ant-Man is one of the god in Hinduism, often referred to self, essence or soul, and the spiritual essence of all human beings. Hindus believe that Ant-Man continues to exist after death. So we have also the god of karma. It implies the moral law of cause and effect. It is a belief that every action has corresponding moral effect, just as what many of us believe in. So in the illustration, it's like a domino effect. In every action we make somehow would affect not just our surroundings, but it would also have an effect in ourselves, whether it is good or bad. So we have also the god Samsara, means the cycle of constant rebirth or incarnation. But this cycle of a constant rebirth also means constant struggle, pain, and suffering. So to end this constant struggle, pain, and suffering, we have the three ways or ways to escape from samsara. These three ways is namely the karma yoga, or the path of action, the jnana yoga, the path of devotion, and the bhakti yoga, the path of knowledge. So Buddhism. The term Buddhism comes from the word buddhi, which means to wake up. Thus, Buddhism is the philosophy of awakening. Buddhism believes in the Four Noble Truths. These noble truths contain the essence of Buddha's teachings. So first is life is suffering. Next is suffering is due to selfish craving, selfish desire for something unnecessary. Selfish craving can be overcome. Next, or lastly, is a way to get rid of selfish craving to end suffering. So Buddhism also introduced the Noble Eightfold Paths: the right understanding, right intention or purpose, right speech, right action or conduct, right living, right effort, right attentiveness, and lastly, the right of concentration. If someone can attain all these noble paths that I have mentioned, surely will attain nirvana. Nirvana in Buddhism is a state of perfect happiness, harmony, and freedom. So in Christianity, mura ni siya, nirvana is like heaven. So Christianity, the central belief of Christianity is the divinity of Jesus Christ, who is viewed as God's only child, the Savior of the world, and the guarantor of life after death. Matthew 3:10. Christianity teaches that Jesus is co-eternal with God the Father and was born through the Virgin Mary. Thus, Jesus is both God and man. He bears all human afflictions except sin. The Bible is the most important source of beliefs for Christianity. Its major beliefs are contained in the New Testament. The sacraments are important in the lives of Christians. The first sacrament is baptism, followed by confirmation, then first communion. Catholic also recognize marriage as sacrament. So we have also the Islam. Islam is a religion, one of the religion. The word Islam literally means obedience to the will of Allah. The word Muslim refers to an individual who surrenders to God or is faithful to the will of Allah. Islam is founded by the Prophet Muhammad. Unlike Jesus Christ, he is not considered God but God's human messenger to the world. So the Quran is the Islam's Bible. Requires Muslim to submit to the will of Allah.
There is only one God, Allah. There are angels who interact with human lives. There are 4 scriptures to Torah or Moses, Allah. The Psalm, of David, the Gospel of Jesus, and the Quran. There are there are 6 great prophets, namely Adam, Noah, Abraham, Moses, Jesus, and Muhammad, direction of Micah, who is the last and the greatest messenger of Allah. There will be resurrection and judgment day. On the last day, those who obey Allah and Muhammad will go to heaven, and those who disobey will go to hell. That are the 5 articles of the Islamic faith. Then the 5 pillars of Muslim, one must declare in public that there is no God, Allah, and Muhammad is the prophets. Muslim must pray 5 times upon rising at noon, mid-afternoon, sunset, before going to sleep toward. And Muslim must have all or 1/4 of income to needy. And the last, during the month of Ramadan, Muslim fasting from sunrise to sunset. And all Muslim are required to make pilgrim. That are the 5 pillars of Muslim. For example, in Islamic faith, as what you can see in the PowerPoint, meron silang tinatawag na pillars. It basically mean that Islam must be obeyed. It in order to develop the Muslim character and strength, they are recommended by Allah to carry out these duties and lead this example of 5 articles of the faith, Islamic faith, 5 pillars of Muslim. Judaism religious knowledge, including the divine instruction and guidance, is contained in the Torah, first 5 books of the Old Testament: Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers or ABD, Deuteronomy. The Judaism next is Judaism, ay ang relihiyon na kung saan characterized by a belief in one transcendent God. It is also said na ito ang pinakamatandang monotheistic na relihiyon. Ang Judaism ay isang relihiyon ng mga Jews. Next is Tanakh. This is the book. The Jewish Bible is the sacred book, consists of the several books assembled under 3 major headings. Tanaka, ang Biblia na ginagamit ng mga Jews, ay tinatawag na Tanakha, which contain books of law and prophets. Next is the declaration of the separation of church and state. Since the church and this state serve the some people, it is expected that they will have some contrary interest in certain areas like education, marriage, establishment of the church institution, and etc. In the declaration of the church in state, ibig sabihin ay dapat hindi nakabase lang sa simbahan kung ano ang meron sa batas, at ganun din sa simbahan. In the next, ang Declaration of the Separation Church or Article 11, Section 6 of the Philippine Constitution declares the separation of church and state, the principle being inviolable is secured or protect from violation is implied from constitutional prohibition that no law shall be made respecting an establishment of the religion. Ang pinagkaiba lamang ay ang government should remain neutral towards any religion at di dapat magbigay ng pabor sa kahit anumang relihiyon dahil ang kanilang pinagsisilbihan ay hindi lamang iisang relihiyon. After all, church refers to religion is general. Kaya mainam na ihiwalay ang simbahan sa gobyerno. Next is the folk religion. Folk religion is the term applied to the blending of elements of old local or folk religious traditions with the element of the major religion in the community. In folk religion, ito ay maaaring maging ethnic or cultural religious practices na walan na sa doktrina ng mga kinikilalang relihiyon. Ibig sabihin, ang kanilang paniniwalaan ay hindi organisado. Animism in a Catholic tradition. Elements of animism are still present. Many Catholic practices, as they were eliminated completely by evangelization of Santo Niño, statue seems to place the Catholic. The statue are not therefore private devotion dictated towards holiness, but good luck and protection, almost a form of anting-anting. That's called the protection, anting-anting. Next is types of religious organization. Dito naman ay ang apat na uri ng religious organization. First is a state religion which supports and is supported by the existing social structure. Then the second is a small religious group that has broken away from some not officially other religious organization. Third is a large organized religion that is linked with the state. The last and the fourth described as the dangerous groups or deviant groups. Dito naman ay ang apat na uri ng religious organization. Ito ay maaaring masama-sama o hindi since hindi na sila parte ng anumang reliyon. Una ay ang Church of Iglesia, means a Christian religious group that does not mean Roman Catholic definition of church. Next is the second, which means ang mga tiwalag sila ay they came from a larger group, tas nag-form sila ng sarili ng religious beliefs. Next is the divination cults. Ito naman ay domination na ang ibig naman sabihin ay kabaliktaran naman ng sect dahil sila ay malaking organisasyon ngunit hindi sila kinikilala ng state. Halimbawa ng denomination ay ang mga Pentecostals, panghuli ay ang cult, which is the most dangerous among the four. We all probably heard news about cult in which mahilig sila sa mga alay-alay na kadalasan tao ang kanilang inaalay na kailanman ay hindi nakasaad at wala sa kahit anumang kasulatan na tao ang isusugal sa kung anuman ang iyong paniniwalaan. Ito din ang tinuturing na organisasyon ni Satanas dahil na din sa kanilang tradisyon. And the next is the link between religion. The present your ideas to the audience in easy to understand language. Make the audience understand, motivated, and inspired by your ideas. You can use presentation media in the form of a combination of image, videos, graphics, tables, and other with a good visual appearance so that the presentation is more attractive. And moreover, in the modern society, the influence of religion on a society policies is clear. It can influence the outcome of an election, support the legitimacy of a political system, or it can be a force to remove a corrupt government official. In the Philippines, there's such thing as a Iglesia ni Cristo vote, which somehow influences the outcome of an election. Ito ay religion serve several functions for society. This include giving meaning and purpose of life, enforcing unity, stability, serving as an agent of social control, promoting physical well-being, motivating people to work positive in social change. Next is the secularization. Is the removal of religious control over social life. People believe religion is rapidly changing but disappearing, but others believe that it is dying, so attendance of holy mass or religious activities turn into habit. Next is the traditional, in the same that in other page, traditional secularization theory, which claims that when a social structure in political institution are circularized, churches lose their public power and people become less inclined to participate in church activities. However, some studies show a different effect of circularization. Example of the circularization in sociology, circularization is the transformation of a society from close identification with religious values institution toward in non-religious values in circular institution. That's all. Thank you.